Hey guys, just decided I would do a quick, I don't know, maybe an hour long, who knows, little broadcast of, stream of working in Moho. I just watched a friend do his. I am trying to think of the name of his YouTube channel, but it's Greggy and Me, I believe. Greg Kapersky, cool dude, doing a lot of stuff in Moho, and looking for my pin. Don't know why I can't find it. Always right before. Get your tools together before you try to do anything. Oh, here we go. Okay, anyway. Yeah, nothing special or particular. I don't even have an idea what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sketch on a layer here, I think, a little bit, and then eventually try to do something with it. Of course, what do you were saying? My monitor isn't working. It's been giving me a lot of trouble. Not the monitor giving me trouble, but the Windows ink. It's I don't even know why it's a thing. This whole idea of trying to make this work, it's really, yeah, it looks like I'm back, except for I have no pin pressure sensitivity, so I'm using it without that, which is kind of a nightmare, but in a way it's not too bad because you can still come through here, and after you've got your stuff, you can always come in and do that manually because, well, this is just the greatest 2D software ever made, and we all know that, so there you go. Yeah, just gonna, I don't know, throw something together here just for the sake of doing it real quick. Simple character. Don't even know if I'm going to sketch it or not now that I think about it. So I will just start. Why not? And it's funny, I was watching Greg do the live stream tonight, and something I feel really silly about, knowing as much as I know, right? I always, when I change my color or copy and paste the color from another part of the body or another character or something, for some reason I keep going back to the little color thing up at the top in the upper left over here when you have your select shape tool here. This guy here, instead of going over here to the style and using this little eyedropper. I don't know why I don't do that. I've done 10 tutorials, I think, recently, where I just keep telling people, go here, open this window, do all this, copy and paste. There's no reason. I'll have to go back and either fix them or just make better ones in the future, I guess. So I'm just going to select something that's kind of a gray blue. That's a little Stitch, isn't it? It's got a lot of his vibe. And let's go back over here and just kind of select some of these points. Let's get the curvature. And I'm just going to kind of move that in. And then grab. And that's one thing, I always try to work, as, consolidate as many things as possible, even though it may not seem like I know what I'm doing on a keyboard here. Even though, yeah, sometimes, things just don't go the way you want it to because of everything going on in your life at the moment. But no, I get discombobulated. Okay, so there's my body, if you can believe it. And that looks kind of like my body. So, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and do another, let's do another circle here. Something like this. And I'm just going to take that and adjust a few points. I think these simpler characters / bodies can be really fun. I've got a kids YouTube that I don't really put out there at the moment, but I'll get to that at some point. Oops, I'm putting this all on the same layer. You can do that. I do not want to do that right now, so I'm going to cut this and put this on a new layer. And I'm going to leave that unnamed like a bad person. And we're going to take that layer, drop it behind that one right now. I'm going to go ahead and rename these because shame on me. That should be body. And this one will be leg R. And I'm going to duplicate that one, of course. So my cat's already going nuts every day, every night. That's what she does. I'm just going to go ahead and keep this even for the moment and flip that over just as a, you stay down, as a mirror image. And might as well make the, oh, and look what I did is I, of course, put it on the wrong layer again. Man, I'm on a roll today. So we're just going to cut that, put this on its own layer once again. And we're going to call this, yes, I have a little bit of a cold, leg L. In fact, night before last, I think it was, I had about 102 fever. I never get sick, so must be smart dust or something that they're saying. So we're going to paste that in. There we go. And everything's good to go. Now we're going to make arms. Let's go ahead and make a vector layer for that. We're going to call this arm L. I'm going to go real fast through this, you know. I'm going to paste this again here just because it already exists. This is going to be my arm, and we'll just rotate this around. If I can zoom in far enough to see it, of course, something like that. Looks good. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to look like yet. So that's probably going to be longer, I would think. Let's just grab some of these around. My, what you call it is shrunk, so I can't see. If anybody's got some comments, please say hello. I'm throwing on a emoji. I don't even know which ones I'm putting, just making sure that that's working. And cool. Let's keep going here. And just make that a little bit. All right, cat. You're fired. Whatever you're doing. All right, so good. Let's just change that curve here. Curvature, make you round. It does not want to be made round for some strange reason. Let me add another point. That might be an issue with that being a pre-done, what do you call it, shape. Just going to check on those points and that curvature one more time. I see no curvature on these. Let's show. Oh, they weren't showing. Got to have that on, don't you? So many little things that I know about and then I forget about. And let's go ahead here on that arm. We're going to duplicate that layer just by going here and right here by the name anyway, and duplicate. And we're going to rename that to arm R. Boom. Good to go. And of course, we're going to grab that. You definitely want to redo your origin points. I have a rogue cat here doing something and I can't find it now. She's jumping up and messing with something. Okay, so that one is now arm right, and we're going to take that layer and just horizontally mirror it like that. Cool. And I guess we need to figure out what the head's going to be. So I'm going to make a new layer here. Just call it head for now. And let's go ahead and I'm going to draw a shape and kind of want it sort of sad and down a little bit. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, so it's pretty sad, all right. And this will, of course, be brought in front. Okay, oh man. The cat was on the shelf knocking all my stuff off. I was wondering what was going on there. She just broke something. Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. Shattered. Okay, so since I'm live, I can either choose to end this and go deal with that, or I can just accept the fate of the universe, I guess. Oh well. Okay. Now we're going to go make a shape out of that. I know it's not anything I want because, well, you know, just be good there. Is it something bad?
No.
What is it? Little figure? Yeah. Yeah, that little mayor guy is worth about $300, you know.
Not anymore.
I know. So, cool. Cats, gotta love them. So I say we move a couple of points around here. The arms, I'm going to go ahead and rotate these around. Thanks for looking, though. Oops. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very naughty.
Put the arm. And you see that the rotation is not in the right place, of course, because I did not change that like I should have. Arm right, that one is. So we'll go back. Yeah. It's funny because cats are, it's like you need that annoyance in your life, I think, to keep you on your toes or something. They say it's good for you to have that. I don't agree. I'd rather not have annoyances, but it's hard to deny a cat. Or a dog, for that matter. I've known plenty of great dogs, too. All right, so arm right. You don't want anybody thinking I was saying anything against one or the other. Okay, so the head, let's find a better position maybe for it. That one's okay. Body's a little plump, in my opinion, so let's go ahead and move a couple of points. Maybe kind of like so. And I'll take these legs and maybe shift those up. Change their pivot points. Really should have been made correct to begin with, probably, but you know, not going to stress that stuff. Okay, we'll just go with that for the moment. I'm going to make a couple of ears, I think. Probably just something hanging down to the back that we'll probably see only on a head turn. If you guys don't know how to do head turns, I can show you that too. But just go ahead with the head. I'm going to do this in front. Do that. Let's go ahead. Let's go right away. Grab the shape. And we're going to go fill. And I'm going to grab this and move it over. Whoops. It looks like we have a point selected there, probably because I drew it that way. Let's go ahead and get rid of that point if I can. Got something stabbing me in the knee. Ow. Just redraw that. Okay. Give it a fill. Go ahead and fill that in. And I'm going to move it over. Of course, we're going to duplicate it when I'm done, but I want to go ahead and get this a little more worked out, and probably all I'm going to do is put in an inner section here. Like so. Give this a shape of its own. And this one will be filled with some ghastly color. Like that. Maybe that's way too gross. Let's go maybe more sweet like that. It's not great still, but greater. And I think that's going to be a thinner line. So snag that again, make it stroke like maybe a 3. Okay, not bad. Not great, not bad. It's just a thing for the evening. I'm going to go ahead and make its pivot right about there, and we'll get that. Why do I have such a... Oh, he's on the same layer as the head, of course. So I'm going to just grab those points, cut them. I forgot, again, to make another layer. That's been my thing today, so brand new thing. Let's make a new layer for it. We're going to call this ear, right? We'll paste that on there. And let's go ahead and duplicate that. And we'll go ear left. And we're gonna mirror that over. And then just grab both of those for the moment. Move those below the head and the body and the arms, just because they're going to be way back there. But I am going to move them out a bit so that they sorry, what am I doing? Let me close this real quick. I'm just going to move this guy out. I get so confused because I work with 500 different programs. And sometimes it's like, wait a minute, that is not this one. What are you doing, bro? Okay, and then let's go ahead and take the other ear. And we'll angle it and move it out a bit like so. That way, I mean, at least they stick out from enough from the head that I know what I'm, you know, that they're back there for now, and then that will be adjusted later. Cool, and then let's go ahead back to the head. I need to make a face for it. I'm also going to fix this point where that pivot there. Just make sure everything's good. I'm going to check the body pivot. I generally would want it kind of at the root-ish area, depending. This is kind of where the neck meets the body, typically. The arm looks okay. That one is okay. That ear needs to be way up here. This ear needs to be up here. Hey, cat, you're on my bad side. I don't want to talk to you right now. And, okay, with that, we can go ahead back to the head. I'm going to make, yeah, another layer. And we're going to go with I left and I never came back. That's what I wish I could do right now with this cat. It's going to make kind of a smaller eye. Not with pink and not with any stroke around it. And the fill, we're going to go in and change that now. I'm going to turn the stroke off of that. And we're going to make the fill black. And then I'm going to duplicate that once I get it to a size that I like. Okay. That's good enough, I guess. And we're going to duplicate that. So copy and paste that dude. We got to remember, though, we're still on the other layer. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to go here to make another vector layer. And we're going to call this IR. And we're going to paste it there. And there we have our eyeballs. And then I think maybe a little nose. So I'm going to create a new vector layer. And just call it nose. And I'm just going to make a little... I'm gonna make it myself. Something triangular that I can adjust. And let's fill it in with our own, select the shape and see. Okay, we're gonna have to make the shape then. So back here, we're going to use, yep, and create, and back here to it, and give our fill a maybe pink, better than the ears. Those are some ugly pink in those ears there, in my opinion. All right, so let's come out of there. This will get some kind of a line running through it. I'm just gonna take this right here on the nose layer. Just go zip. That's fine. Now I'm gonna go back to my ears because I do not like that inner ear color. And the nose, you know what? I'm gonna copy using the great technique that I learned today. Oh, you know why I don't usually do this? Because this monitor, I'm using a 1K and a 4K monitor, and this one, the size is a bit different other than the other one, so it tries to map from the other one and instead of its own. It's really strange the way it works out. That's why I don't do that. I just realized. So I can still open this up here, though. It works the same. Which is probably what I should have been doing the whole time, but you know, close enough in color there. Go back to my ear, get back into, oops, this business here. Let me select my shape, and we will just paste that in. Nope, of course not. That's all right. I'm just going to go in here and grab the color I want. Works the same. She's getting a little on my nerves. And while we're here, I'm just going to copy that too. And then we're going to go back over to the other ear and do the same thing. Just paste that in and we're good to go. Oops, that's the whole ear. We don't want that, just that piece. So now we can paste that in. Okay, cool. Much better. I'm going to give a little hand drawn on the head layer here. A little like a seam of some kind here, kind of running down like that. Maybe, yeah, I guess that's okay. I guess that's okay. On the body, we need to do probably the same thing. So I'm going to go over here to the body. Just kind of zoop, throw something like that. I don't know if it's too obvious. Let's just go like harder here and it getting thinner as it goes up the body maybe. That's not bad. I think I can live with that for the moment. I think I want to make these arms and legs a little more saggy toward the ends too. So let's just try that on that leg. Just by pushing this in and these down a little more. You get that square, you know, more square bottom piece here, the foot. I'm gonna have to work on the curvature on that probably, but let's try this one too, and kind of flatten out and get that, you know, like it's a little, I don't know, saggier, like I say, it's been beaten up. I probably want to make those just slightly longer, I'm thinking also, because they are a little, you know, a little too stubby maybe. It's gonna have a hard time walking. And let's just grab all these and maybe pull those down like that. Cool. And now maybe the arms should be less balloony. I feel like they're a little puffy. Let's just go to my arms, my right arm, maybe pull this one down like that. The other one. So right now I've only got like, you know, 5 or 6 points in the arm. They're going to need more for bending for sure. I was just talking to Gray about that earlier. So I will wind up doing some of that to ensure this thing has a better chance of not looking like butt. But I think overall this is kind of as far as I want to go with that. And let's go ahead now to our lines, maybe work a little bit on those. They've got some really good brushes in here that I do want to see about messing with some. I don't know exactly what I want to turn some things here into, but we're going to find out. So with this, that's a... I don't think I'm actually selecting my shape, so we're going to go in here and do that. Now we're going to select the brush we want. I'm going to use just something interesting. That one is very cool. I like to turn up the variation, amplitude, and the scale here because it just makes it more scratchy. This I'm not going to deal with right now only because I can do that manually, and this is involving some pin pressure right now, so we're going to leave that for the moment. And see, now we have this much scratchier vibe. I think I'm going to go even more so with it, so I'm just going to kind of go like that. And we're going to save this as my scratchy brush. I'm going to call it my scratchy. It's my scratchy. Okay, we'll just go save to custom content folder. Yes, reload them. Sure, why not? Okay, so, and then we can come in once again and change the, line width on some of these to get them to have some variation. So I just like to grab that and say, hey, you're a little skinnier here. And this will work a lot better when we have more points. We'll work on that in just a sec. But yeah, I think I'm wanting to use this brush on all my parts to start with. So I'm just going to go here from the bottom and start selecting them like the leg R. We'll grab that line, that particular set of points. And let's apply. Wait, how do you apply that style? Why am I missing this? Oh, you have to select the shape. I knew that. Boom. Go back here and select the brush I've got. This one should be called my scratchy brush, unless it's putting this in another folder. So we're just going to grab that, and it looks like, nope, that is mine indeed. My scratchy brush. We're going to select it. And we're just going to do that with it for every one of our parts. Sorry, I'm tired a bit, and it's late, and I was sick for 3 days, so I apologize for kind of not being with it. So, like I said, all of these will get a adjustment to their thickness and so on. We're going to go here and change that brush to this one as well, I think. Let's see what it looks like. Obviously, this one will probably need to be thinned out, but I guess not. It looks like it kept them, so that's always a good thing to see. Lay down. She was acting like I was going to. Okay, so there is that. This is the ear. Get down, please. Bad timing. Come on, get down. Get down. Nope. Get down, please. Down. Good kitty. Okay, so this is ear right. We're going to go back to the ear right and now change this piece. Same thing with our brush. Get that set up. Cancel. We just wanted to grab it, not change it. So these, like I said, the line width will change on these, but I just want to make sure we have the particular brush on those pieces. And now the other part of the color we'll grab with the brush. Yeah, so those will need to come down. We could also make that stroke not black, which is something a lot of people don't tend to want to do at first. It's totally worth doing. I'll show you what I mean. If I take that dark, or that stroke, and just make it a darker version of that particular color, and then if I go and select the other part and do the same thing here, probably should have copied my color so I know what it was. You can have a really cool kind of effect, and that almost looks hairy now. That might be a good idea. Let's try it. So I'm going to do that with all of them. Just go back and do it again. So the leg right. And the thing is, how are you going to know unless you do it, right? So we'll just go here. We've got that happening. Good. And I'm going to make a color, and I'm going to actually copy it this time so I know which one it is. That's not a bad version of it, I guess. Maybe a little more like so. I'm going to copy that color, so this will save a lot of time. Leg left now. We'll just go in here and paste that in there. And now their ear right, same. And it's going to be kind of a nice, softer, kind of look because of that. That one's already done. This one needs it. Arm left. And just right here. And V. Good. My inner ear did not get that. So ear right, inner. And that could have been a darker pink, actually, for this one, but it's all right. We'll sort it out just the same. And then the arm left we got, and now the arm right will do, and it will not only change the color, but it's going to use our brush that we want as well. And then I'll go ahead and change the color here. I think it's going to be kind of a cute little soft sort of looking character. And it's a quickie, you know what I mean? It's not like spend 42 hours on it kind of thing. But the best stuff usually is like that, and I didn't even put any thought into it, so it's all good. Let's pick this one now and say yep for that line, and let's go to the head. Use the same brush. I'm all about these kind of natural media looking brushes. I want to do so much more with that. I just think they look very cool, that they look like, something else. Let's grab the brush for that now. There we go. They just tend to look nicer. And if you adjust all of their opacity and stuff like that, that color drag I'm talking to, you can do that manually after the fact. It's pretty amazing. So let's go to the nose. The eyes I'm going to leave. Yeah, let's change them. Might as well. So my eye left, we're going to grab it. We're going to apply, since this is just a fill. Let's go to that, but we can't put a brush stroke on it. We can put an effect on it. Let's see if we do put the stroke on it, though. They're going to get a little bigger. And let's go ahead and put this around and see what we get. That is not horribly bad. Let's just grab the brush. Let's see if that's more what I'm talking about. It's not bad. I don't hate it. He looks a little dopier. Let's keep it. Why not? And let's grab the other one. I usually wind up liking things I didn't plan pretty often. So let's just go like that. Go ahead and add the stroke back to that, and go ahead and say yes. And make sure we have the brush on it as well. And we're good. Now the nose, last thing to do. So let's go ahead and grab it. Make sure the color is correct here and here. And make sure that the brush is on both of those. And we'll be done with that color stuff there anyway. The initial stuff. Like I said, this is just going to be really, really basic, but still cool. Alright, so there's that dude. There's a lot of really cool brushes and things. Normally I would throw in like a bit of shadow or something like that with that sort of natural media vibe to it. But let me show you here. Grab some of these points like on the body. Grab, let's just say this guy in the middle, or that whole line here. Where is my, not there, is it you? Nope. Shape, right? Is it shape? No, why am I missing this? Oh, the line width tool. You get this width and opacity and color drift now. So if I just pick a point or two here, let's just go ahead and deselect and pick, let's say, this point right in the middle. And you see we don't have our brush on that one. We really need that. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Oh, it did not take. Let me find the line and go ahead and say, yes, you better. Yes, we can. I know we can. I don't know why that's not showing. It might be because it is just because of the thing, because it's selected, so it's not showing the effect. That happens as well. If we click on head, yeah, that's what it is. So on the body here, we can come in here, let's say, like I said before, just this middle point with the shape select selected here. No, I'm sorry. The line width tool, for crying out loud. We can select just certain points and then go ahead and add that color drift to them, and the opacity we can adjust. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. It's perhaps once again because we've got that opposite layer selected here. No, it's just not working. I don't know why that is. Very strange. Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm a little tired. Maybe because I don't have color drift turned on for this. Let me check. The brush does not have it on. So yes, we're going to turn that on, and we're going to make the value as well. We should be seeing that at some point over here. Let's make the hue more of a purplish. We'll say yep. So now we should, I don't know why we're not, be seeing some changes within that. Yeah, kind of weird that we're not, but I'm not seeing it there either. Huh. Weird. Okay, well, it should be working. I don't know why it isn't. I'm going to just up this and have a look, and this should be shifting. Let's go back here and look. Let's just do it a lot more. It could be, you know, the fact that it's just not up enough, and no, it's not, in fact. Okay, well, I must be tired. That must be all it is. I'll have to look at it in the morning, but that's not what I wanted to do tonight. Anyway, that was just a little teeny thing to mention. But with this setup like so, we'll just drop all of these guys over here into a group. We'll call this Bunny. This may or may not work well. We'll see. And we're going to turn this into a bone layer. So convert to bone. There we go. With everything deselected, no bones. So there aren't any bones to select. Back on frame 0 and on the bone layer, we're just going to go ahead and give this a root bone, and then we're going to go ahead and come up. Just going to do 2 for the body, and then we're going to go. Let me undo that one. 2 for the body, and then 1 for the head. That'll come from here. Let me go back up. That's the chest, so we can go ahead and go like this, and this is where we're going to get into the territory that we talked about earlier. There we go, pow and pow there, and not the root bone, but you know, the other one. This will work better this way, from the actual lower backbone or pelvis or whatever you want to call that one. And I'm going to worry about the ears after the fact. So let's just get this situated first. And there's going to be a lot of layer stuff here. Point binding, sorry. Okay, so with that, I'm going to select all the bones, and we're going to check the bone strength. And that is exactly something that happened earlier with somebody else. So I'm just going to pull all those down. Now we know that that will not happen to us as well. And I'm going to start binding. But these are going to be not... there's only one of these that's probably going to get just layer bound, and that's going to be the head. So we're going to go ahead and, no pun intended, grab the head layer, and I'm going to just bind that with a layer bind to that bone right there, which is that'll be our head bone. Okay, so we're going to put the head, eyes, and nose all in its own layer for now. Let me just click out of there. We are in frame 0, so head and so forth there. Right click, and we're going to say group, and we're going to call this head. And with that, now we know that everything is attached to that bone except for other things. So instead of what I just did, let's go ahead and detach this one, and this will make a lot more sense. We're gonna undo the attachment of that layer. So I'm gonna go back here to this and just select off in a blank spot. Then we're gonna select that layer and attach it as a whole to that bone. Now it makes more sense. And then on to the other parts. So nice thing is when you move the head now, all the parts of the face and stuff will go with that. Obviously not the ears yet. So I think I'm gonna make the head and body see-through here, so we can do our little ears. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure nothing is selected on our bone layer here, and we're going to go ahead and make a new bones. We're going to select actually the head bone because that's what we want it parented to, and we're going to go from here to here to here to here. Go ahead and back up to that head bone and do 4 more over here. Okay, good enough. And now we're ready to do the other stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and probably do some point binding here. We probably have to add a lot more points. Keep that in mind. So on the ear, the left ear, I can already tell you, yes, we're going to do a lot more points. I'm just going to add some more in here. That is fine there. But see where this bone stops, you need at least these here. You will need at least these here. So that will create an actual bend at that actual joint. And then more than likely you would need these. It's not 100% that you have to do that. I just really like to ensure that they will in fact bend. And I'm probably just gonna delete this ear over here and the layer anyway, and rebind that over just by remaking this artwork again. You'll see what I'm saying here. We're going to delete ear right, so delete layer, and ear left, we're going to go ahead and duplicate it now that it's got all those extra points in it. So ear right, and then flip it obviously. So ear right, grab the layer itself and flip that over and move that back on this side to where it somewhat matches our bones. It's not going to probably exactly because we made those bones outside with a different ear. So in the bone layer now we're going to come over and just fix those. Not 100% necessary from some of what I did, but some of it, I mean, in the end, yes, but you get it, I hope. Okay, so anyway, that's probably too far over. Doesn't matter, because what I'm going to do now is come in here to the layers of the ear. I'm going to use the right ear first, and I'm going to come and bind those to their bones. So we got the correct bone selected, now the points. So I'm just going to come over here and come around just these, bind those, and then we're going to select the next guy and bind those. Probably going to have an issue there, but you know, hey, I can always add more points. And then we're going to go down to the next one, and that doesn't always happen. We were talking about that in Craig's thing as well. It doesn't always not work this way, especially with something that can be, you know, flippy. We're going to bind those, and then this bone and these remaining points right there. Good. So now that ear is bound. And then we're going to go to this bone and do the same thing on the other layer. Make sure you switch your layer. And with that bone selected, we're going to grab these points. Notice I'm trying to give the break, right at that root of that bone. So it's not necessary, but it does help. Like if you don't know what smart bones are, that's your savior anyway. And I'm going to do a whole thing on smart bones coming up here too. Smart bones you need for corrections, and smart bone dials obviously for controls. But let's go with that bone now is going to be this. We're going to bind those, and then this bone will now be these guys here. I guess I could have taken that one too. Bind, and once again, the last bone will now be for all these dudes. Cool. The ears are done. Let's go ahead and turn them off. And we're still going to get, points when we're on those layers, but we're not going to click those layers. The head, let's go ahead and, well, it is bound by a single bone, so it should be fine. But the head parts, not going to worry about those either because those are all contained within that head group. So now the body, we'll turn it on and trying to find out. I can already tell you we need a lot more points probably for this body. And I'm going to make sure we're not selecting any bones like we just were. And then figure out the layer, body. How many points do we need? Right now, we've got basically 4 for the body. And we need to break this up to where we're going to be able to morph a little bit with the neck when the head moves and, the chest bends and stuff like that. So I'm not going to add tons onto this. I'm going to add a couple at that top there where the neck is going to kind of, move a little bit there, maybe more, but then this guy's going to have at least one here and here, and I think at least one here and here. And you know what? This might stretch a bit with the legs and might as well. That works for me. I'm going to put one more also in this body strip because this is going to try and move when the bones bend as well. Okay, cool. So now with the body, we're going to go back down to that bone and binding points business. Now what I'm going to do here is make sure that for this bone, I'm not going to pick these ones at the top because those are going to bind to the head bone actually. And I'm going to pick these all the way down to, well, let's just go here. Those are the ones we have available at the moment and not the top ones like I said. I'm going to go ahead and bind those, and then I'm going to select the head bone, and we're going to bind these neck points to it. And yes, you can bind points of one layer to a bone of another that's not associated or whatever. I mean, you can select, mix match all of that stuff. So, and then we're going to come back down here to this body bone, and I'm going to put that with, at the moment, well, I'm going to select everything because I just realized I probably need even more points than this. And we're going to go ahead and bind those because when the legs move, if we want those to stretch the body, we're definitely going to. I don't think we need to, but, if we do. So, sorry about that crinkle. And that was my friend who delivers Christmas presents every year, Chris. Chris Crinkle. Nobody got that? All right. And then now for the arms. Right here, arm right. And I'm going to make sure no points are selected. We're going to do the same thing. Just grab the bone. This needs, in my opinion, more. But let's do what I saw Greg do. Maybe I'll be fine without it. Maybe. Let's just give it a go. Hey, why not? And I'm going to bind that point. And then I'm going to go to this. No, I'm not. I'm going to go and grab those 2 points with this bone because that's what I would normally do. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't. But this point is also going to include, that bone's going to also include those. That just, because they're within the bone area. So Now this one will be the base ones. That's how I'd normally do it, and I'm starting to make myself think, don't do that. Don't do that, Sean. It's not the way you would normally do it. Don't be influenced too much by others. They may be great, but do your thing, buddy. I'm just making up, names now for myself. Okay, here we go. That's good. And now these will be bound here. Bind, and then this one here. Whoops, there's the bone. And they will bind. That will bind to these. Hopefully that'll work. Let's just go ahead and get the legs done while we're here. Now I know those don't have enough because this only has one at the top of each. So I'm going to go ahead right in the middle of the process here. You can add points in at any time, which is one of my favorite things here. Yeah, why not? Let's just add a couple more because we can. Oftentimes I will do that anyway, just because I want a little more control out of that. Okay, so those look a little wonky now. That's a matter of curvature and moving the points slightly. I think I might be able to do away with that point, but I'm just kind of where the leg's going to not bend right. Smart bones, though, best thing in the world. And that's fine there, leg, right, and so forth. Not sure why I put all those points because I can just do this with smart bones. I'll show you. Let's just do it. Let's get rid of these extras that we don't need. Probably all 4 of those, in fact. And yeah, really don't even need that one. I mean, unless we want that curvature at the top, Yeah, this is the smart bones, corrective bones, are absolutely crazy. Let's just leave it like that. I don't care for this leg anymore because it is poofy in comparison. So we're going to take this leg here as a layer, duplicate it. Let's just right click over here and do it. Duplicate layer. We're going to call this leg R. And now we're going to flip it and move it right there. And then, of course, we need to go ahead and bind our points. So I'm just going to grab that tool. This bone. Now, guaranteed, there are not enough points per bone here. But we're going to test something. So bind those. Grab this bone. I mean, I usually like to put them on purpose to be enough, but we're going to try it and see if smart bones will just fix it anyway, which is beautiful. It doesn't do it for you per se, but it helps during the animation process, that is, if you set it up correctly. So we'll bind those, and then we'll go here with this one, and we will bind those last ones. And now everything, I think, is set up correctly. I'm just going to go here to the bone layer. I might have missed the arms. I don't know. Did I? And, oh, I got too many bones with strength still on them. So let's just go ahead and back to here and just grab all the bones. I'm going to go in lasso mode. I don't know why I'm not in it. I always usually am. Bone strength, we're just going to go zip. I must have missed that when I selected everything. And now I'm just going to come in here and manipulate around what we got. So the head has a little stretch there. The arm, and it does bend, just not greatly. You'll see how I fix that using smart bones. The ears are off as far as I know, so let me turn those on. So we do have ears, as ugly as they may or may not be, but they are working. And let's go back down here and make sure the legs and the body. Now this is going to get a weird fold here, you can see. That is normal. That is the main dude. There's a leg and a bend in the leg that you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. But I'll show you how to fix that super, super easy. All right, that goes there. Cool. So now every one of those joints that doesn't bend properly, we're going to make a smart bone action for. So these are all fine. These I'm not worried about. This is all kind of, like a pin joint or something. In fact, I'm going to move those just a little bit more over. I don't know why those layers aren't moving. I'll fix that. So that's all good. But let's make some smart bones for the arms. Let's do one for the body first. In fact, you have to be on the manipulate bones here for that to work. But see how that body is doing this nastiness? You're like, yeah, I've got that problem all the time. Well, this is how you fix it. Flip over here to your Actions tab. Select the bone we want to fix. Make sure you're on frame 0. And right here with that bone highlighted, we're going to go Action. And it's going to have B3, which is the name of that bone. We should have named it before. I'm going to say OK. We have a little timeline. I'm just going to come over here to about 48, something like that. And now I'm going to move this bone as far as I want this to go. And you see all that Yankee nasty stuff? We'll turn off our effects and all of our extra bits, masking, that kind of stuff, so I can work just on the lines. In fact, I'm going to turn off the head and the ears as well so I can see what's going on here. Let's turn off the arms too. And you see that we want to get rid of. So to fix that, with that action, right over here in frame 48, all we have to do is find the arm with the body layer. We're going to move the points where we want them. When this does this, this is where we want the points at that moment. So I'm just going to go like so. And now you can see that this will bend to that point. It doesn't have to be right there. It can be anywhere you want it to be. You can make that even plump out more or something as he does it. So now with those back on and everything turned back on this way, takes a second. You can see that when he bends now, he doesn't get that nasty, pinching, whatever. So to make it go the other way now, you got to come back here to the main line, right here, double click it. You're back in the main timeline. Now we're going to create another action for that same bone. Make sure you don't have any of those points selected. And we're going to go right here, and we're going to go action 2. And that's going to be for the same bone. I believe that will work fine. No, it will not. So let's go ahead, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to name that bone first off. Let's just grab that bone from the bone layer. Oh, I wasn't in the bone layer. Let's just name that torso or chest. Okay. And I'm going to rename this one. Can I rename that? Yeah. Chest left or right, I mean. Okay. So now, let me just go back to the main line here again. Chest right. We have that bone. I'm going to make a new action, and since we're now in the bone layer, it will let me do it. So this will be chest. We need this to be like chest left, actually. You can name it whatever you want. So we say, okay, and now it gives us that new one. We're going to go here to frame 48, and then I'm going to take our transform bone tool again and pull it this way, getting the nasty, wonky bit going. We're going to go to the layer of the body, and now we're going to fix these points where they should be at that moment. Isn't that cool? That skates around your line like that. That's cool. Okay, that's about right there. So now when this bends over, it's not great. It's not horrible. So right here, I'm going to move this one down a little bit to kind of account for that movement. Let's just see if that's better. And it is. Much better. Cool. All right. So if we wanted to, we could make any of this move as well at that point. So when he bends down, you could take this point and kind of lean it, maybe even give him a little bit of a fold happening there. If you get extra points, just move it on top and it should be fine. See, now you can see that wrinkle happens. Go back to the other one if you want to correct it going the other way. My double tap's not working for some reason. And when he goes this way, we just make that little kind of wrinkle bit kind of happen this way. So now he'll, it's a little much, but let's fix that. Oops, drag it over. There we go. Instead of moving the whole line, maybe it just curves, bends the line, you know what I mean? like that a little more. I think that's still wrong. Let's go ahead and make this go to the much more to his nose at that point. I think that's fine there. Cool. All right, so that's how we do the smart bones for the body. And let's check his arms here. So the arm right, cancel, go back to the main line, go to the arm here, that's fine. But this here, this next arm is the one that's going to be the problem because it's the one that's got the bend of the elbow. So we're going to make a smart bone action on frame 0 always for that. So we're just going to go to here. I don't care what the name of the bone is. We can always rename the bone before we do it. We'll call this forearm right. And then make a new action. I'm going to sneeze, guys. And we'll go over to frame 48. And I'm just going to move this bone this way. And you're like, that is so horrible looking. You're right, it is. This is how we fix it. We go back down to the arm right. We make sure no points are selected. And we move our points where we want them to be when he does that action. Now, if you don't have enough points to work with, even within a smart bone action, actually no, I'm wrong. You have to add your points outside of this, but this is where you can correct them when he does his motion. But yes, we can add more points by going back to the main line. And still on frame 0, which we're not on. Let's go ahead and delete those keyframes. Frame 0. We can add more points here. So I'm just going to add, like, there's this joint. I'm going to add just, and I always used to do 3. And you have, of course, correct with your curves now. But I would do 3 just because you get a little more control. Yes, you have to, like I said, adjust with the curves a bit to compensate for adding those in, but it's totally worth it, and you get a lot nicer bend out of the limb there. Okay, we'll go with that, and you can see where these are located now. I got one. This one's pretty much at the bend where the two bones meet, and then this is going to be just a little bit down from that to give you a little bit of flex there, a little more room to move. So that should be all right. Let's go ahead and go back into this forearm action. If I go up here now, it's totally wrong, but that's because the new points are not accounted for there. So we'll just go back here and put those points where they should be. So this is going to be the forearm. This is going to be that's the upper arm. This is pretty much the crux of the elbow here. You see how when they fall into place here, that's pretty much the crux of the elbow, actually. There we go. And then there's the outer point of this elbow. And you just keep moving stuff around until you get the volume of it correct, too. It's very important to not lose your volume when your limbs, when you're animating them. They don't want to collapse in. And you see how this one comes up. The cool thing is about smart bones, these actions, is you can put keyframes along the action as well to make adjustments as it happens. So now you can see it's a really good bend in that little tiny chubby arm he's got. So back here now to the main line again, we are going to want to make another action for when it bends down. So with the bone layer selected, we're going to select the forearm action and not double click, but grab another action. This is going to be called forearm 2. And then we go up to frame 48 just because it's a whatever arbitrary number of frames, but it's enough to get you the motion you want. And then we're going to go down to the arm right, and we're going to bend it the other way now. And and we're going to grab this transform bone tool and bend it. So it's not bad, already, but it's not great. If we turn off the body, you will see. Yeah. And now we need to grab the layer of the arm and fix those points. So deselect all of them and just find the points that they need to be where they need to be. This one is the top of the forearm. That should be in the crux of that bend. This one should be the center of that bend, I believe. And this one is that one. The elbow, however, now see, that's the thing, is I don't think I have enough points. This one should be there like that. And we can, like I said, adjust these all day. I think that these are a little wonky and odd there. Adjust curvature. And the more time you spend on this part, the better your stuff is going to look in the end. Because this is the tweaking, you know, that you won't be having to do later. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so that should be okay. And then back out, so we have that arm done. So you'll have to do this to all your limbs. It seems like a pain in the butt, but like I said, it's going to make animating this dude so much easier when you're actually doing the animating. You know, you're not going to be fiddling with every little bit and movement, because it just works. You know, you can just grab his arm and move it and say, hey, my name is you know, Billy Bunny, and whatever. This one though goes, oh, something's wrong with me. You get the idea. My back bends nicely though. And so back here, back at frame 0, and just go in and do the other arm. And so on. What time is it here? About 10 o'clock. I don't know when I started this. It says, how long have I been going? Do I have a timer on this one? Yes. Okay, well, I'm about at an hour. I'm going to save this dude off, and I'll just show you guys tomorrow either a continuation or a finished version of it. And I appreciate you watching. I have to get some sleep. Talk to you later.